We respectfully disagree with the court.
That was attorney William Pohl, who represents Officer David Manila. Manila, along with fellow officers Anthony Kenga and Mario Laksamana, have been in jail for about a week on numerous charges of conspiracy to commit prostitution and rape charges in connection with the Blue House case. All three attorneys for David Manila, Mario Laksamana, and Anthony Kenga have asked the court to release their clients on personal recognizance, or at the very least, to a third-party custodian. But Judge Sicola has denied those requests. In making her decision, Sicola said she considered certain factors, such as, quote, the nature of the offense charged and apparent possibility of conviction and likely sentence. But Attorney Pohl says the bail conditions for his client are unfair and unjust. Despite testifying that he had sex with a Blue House employee in the federal trial of Song Ja Cha, who was convicted of numerous sex trafficking charges, Pohl says it does not make Manila guilty of the charges in the superseding indictment.
Well, he did not admit to those two charges that are brought forth. And again, we've already said, we've already stated for the record that we're stating that he's not guilty on all charges. But if you take a look at the charges that they have filed, they don't make any, those two charges in particular are very vague. They don't really explain who the victim is. They're over a 2-year period. And most importantly, they claim he's acting with somebody else, but they don't state who that somebody else is.
He says Manila is expecting a baby in a few weeks, supports his older children, and has a relative who lives with him. And keeping him jailed on bail set at $250,000 while he tries to prove his innocence puts his family in danger.
For most of us, that would be more than sufficient because, again, you're taking food out of your family if you violate. You're potentially having other family members be incarcerated if you violate. There's more than sufficient safe grounds without having to put up cash. And why should somebody who happens to be rich get better justice than somebody who isn't?
Pohl argues that for someone like Manila, who has been nothing but cooperative with the federal government, more danger exists in violating bail conditions versus harming victims. Why violate those conditions and jeopardize your case? Pohl argues.
But also, if you violate, as we already know, it means you go back to jail. It means that you get reported that you go back to jail and you've weakened your case. So again, one of his incentives not to violate those conditions is the fact that he wants the chance to prove his innocence. And in order to prove your innocence, you have to follow the rules.
Moving forward, Pohl says he has filed several more motions for dismissal of the case, not only on grounds of statute of limitations, but also because he says his client's Sixth Amendment rights were violated and he was not properly brought before a judge within 48 hours after he was arrested, booked, and confined.